Typically with a new device or new therapy, I've gone outside the U.S. And that's always a good question is why outside the U.S.? Our target really was the American market, as it often is. That's the biggest and biggest market from the standpoint of a cohesive system, if you will. I mean, one could argue that the European market is bigger for a lot of things, but Europe is anything but a country. It really is a set of countries, and the European Union has a oversight, but by no means a sort of a claim over how things move forward, if you will. And that makes Europe interesting and sometimes a little deceptive in what your plans should be moving forward. Typically, I've gone to Germany or the UK, that kind of a thing, for first in man clinicals. Australia came up this time almost serendipitously. We had been doing a little work in Australia in a prior venture that I was working in, and I got to know a couple urological nurses that were running a clinical research organization, had a lot of respect for them, and this was a urology device. Gee, it seemed like a good fit. We started talking, and they seemed to have a very good idea of who we were looking for as investigators. And they helped us select what ended up being the first two urologists to perform the procedure. Australia is interesting in that it's easy to work there and fun because Australians are awesome, but also because they speak English, the systems are understandable, they're straightforward, and they are a tier 1 country, which means that if you run a prospective study and you do it well, the FDA will honor the data. Indeed they did, and part of our FDA approval was based on our Australian data as well. I think that, at least for me, I kind of feel like the most important choice to make is who will be your operating surgeon or your physician who's delivering the therapy, whatever you're developing. And the reason is what I look for someone who, when you explain the therapy, when you really get into it and you have a good conversation, they see the potential, they're excited about the potential, they want to be part of the team to bring it forward. To me, that's essential. And that coupled with, they understand that it needs to be clinically evaluated and that we're going to rely on them to be critical. We're going to rely on them to tell us when it's not right, or what might be good and what is not good, and what needs to change and what can stay. And they really do need to sort of want to be part of the team that brings it forward. The two guys in Australia that we selected also balance each other well. One of them is a very, very sort of tactile and has a very good 3D sort of view of the anatomy. He's an excellent surgeon who kind of can think through procedures very well. The other one is more very highly respected, sort of academic and well-known in the community. Both of them, an important aspect of who you choose is they are not, quote, a lightning rod. You want people that others will listen to as credible. They may not be leading the world in the therapy or the key opinion leaders of the world, but they're credible and they're people to be taken seriously, and that's who we went with.